Welcome to the Conspiracy Archive. I'm your host, Ben Carter. In the shadows of American history, a conspiracy theory has taken root, growing in stature and intrigue. This theory, known as the Clinton Bodycount, speaks of a clandestine sequence of deaths that has allegedly followed former President Bill Clinton and his wife, Hillary Clinton, throughout their political careers. The theory paints a chilling portrait of power and darkness, suggesting that those who crossed paths with the Clintons and ended up on their wrong side met untimely and often suspicious ends. The origins of the Clinton body count theory trace back to the 1990s, during Clinton's presidential tenure. Amidst the political turbulence of the era, a list began to circulate, purporting to document a series of mysterious deaths linked to the Clintons. The list, vague yet ominous, sparked whispers of a hidden power play, a deadly chess game unfolding behind the veiled curtain of American politics. At the heart of this theory lies the insinuation that the Clintons, in their pursuit of power, were willing to silence those who posed threats to their political ascendancy. The deaths, ranging from apparent suicides to plane crashes, were seen by proponents of the theory as too coincidental, too timely, too conveniently beneficial for the Clintons to be mere happenstance. The first name on this ominous list was a man named James McDougal, a business partner of the Clintons in the failed Whitewater Development Corporation, a controversial real estate venture in the 1980s. McDougal died of an apparent heart attack while in solitary confinement, sparking suspicions and rumors that his demise was orchestrated to prevent him from further implicating the Clintons in the scandal that had already tainted their political image. Then there was Vince Foster, a deputy White House counsel during the first few months of Bill Clinton's presidency. Foster, a longtime friend and associate of the Clintons, was found dead in a Virginia park in 1993. His death was ruled a suicide, but questions and theories have since swirled around the circumstances, adding to the intrigue and mystery of the Clinton body count. Numerous other names have since been added to the list, each entry teeming with intrigue and shrouded in suspicion, adding fuel to the fire of the theory that refuses to fade into obscurity. Each death, each unexplained circumstance, each unanswered question, is a new thread in this complex web of suspicion, power, and death. Thus, the Clinton body count theory persists, its roots firmly planted in the fertile soil of uncertainty and distrust. It is a chilling narrative that continues to evoke questions about the lengths to which those in power will go to protect their interests, their image, and their legacy. The theory brings forth a paradoxical mix of fear and fascination, compelling us to peer into the shadows of power and question the narratives we've been told. In navigating the murky waters of the Clinton body count theory, understanding the political and cultural backdrop that gave birth to such suspicions is essential. In many ways, the theory is a product of its time, a reflection of the tumultuous era that saw the rise and fall of countless political figures and the shifting sands of public trust in those in power. The 1980s ushered in an era of political scandal and social skepticism in the United States that continued into the 90s. From the Iran-Contra affair to the impeachment of President Richard Nixon following the Watergate scandal, the American public had seen firsthand the lengths to which those in power could go to safeguard their positions. Against this backdrop, the Clintons emerged onto the national political scene, their ascent marked by an aura of controversy that never truly dissipated. Bill Clinton's presidency, which began in 1993, was dogged by scandal from its early days. The Whitewater controversy, a failed real estate investment involving the Clintons and their associates, including the late James McDougal, became a focal point of the administration's critics. The investigation, which dragged on for years, fueled public discontent and bred a climate of mistrust. Adding to this was the suicide of Vince Foster, a close associate of the Clintons. Discovered dead in a park, the official cause of death was quickly ruled a suicide, but the haste and seeming lack of thorough investigation led many to question the true nature of his demise. This was the era of the birth of the Internet, and with it, the dawn of an unprecedented age of information sharing. Conspiracy theories, once confined to hushed whispers and clandestine publications, found a global platform. The Clinton Bodycount theory, with its tantalizing mix of high-stakes politics and mysterious deaths, was tailor-made for this new digital age. The culture was shifting too. The 1990s saw an explosion of interest in the macabre and the mysterious, from popular television shows like The X-Files to the burgeoning popularity of true crime. The Clinton Bodycount fit perfectly into this cultural fascination with the shadowy, the sinister, and the unexplained. In essence, the Clinton Bodycount is not merely a list of names, but a manifestation of a deep-seated cultural and political unease. An emblem of an era marked by scandal, skepticism, and the dawning realization that those in power might not always have the best interests of the public at heart. This was a time of questions, of doubts, and the Clinton Bodycount theory was, for many, a way to give form to those nebulous fears. Integral to the formation of the Clinton Bodycount theory were key players who, through their actions or their untimely deaths, contributed to the evolving narrative. Among these were individuals with direct ties to the Clintons, such as Vince Foster and Ron Brown, as well as those with more peripheral connections. Vince Foster, a deputy White House counsel during Clinton's first term, was a close friend of the Clintons, having worked at the same law firm as Hillary Clinton in Arkansas. His death in 1993, officially ruled a suicide, was shrouded in controversy due to the swift and seemingly incomplete nature of the investigation. This, coupled with his close ties to the Clintons, led some to suggest foul play and a subsequent cover-up, thus establishing one of the earliest entries in the Clinton Bodycount. Another key figure was Ron Brown, the Secretary of Commerce under Clinton. Brown died in a plane crash in Croatia in 1996, along with 34 others. The official cause was poor weather conditions, but the lack of a distress call and the discovery of a bullet-like hole in Brown's skull fueled speculations of assassination. His death added further intrigue to the growing theory. Parallel to these individual cases ran the ongoing Whitewater investigation. Although no criminal charges were filed against the Clintons, their associates James and Susan McDougal were convicted of fraud. James McDougal died in prison in 1998, a death that, while officially due to natural causes, was seen by some as suspicious, particularly given his role in the scandal. His death further solidified the Clinton Bodycount theory in the public psyche. Yet it wasn't just the deaths themselves that shaped the theory. The media and the rapidly expanding digital landscape played a significant role. Websites dedicated to the theory proliferated, each presenting an ever-growing list of names and weaving intricate narratives of conspiracy and cover-up. This online propagation of the theory, combined with tabloid sensationalism and the public's mounting distrust of those in power, created a fertile ground for the Clinton Bodycount theory to take root and flourish. In the end, it was a combination of high-profile deaths, ongoing legal scandals, and the shift in information consumption that shaped the Clinton Bodycount theory. It emerged as a reflection of an era, an expression of collective unease, and a testament to the power of narrative in shaping public perception. The Clinton Bodycount theory, fueled by a string of high-profile deaths and amplified by the digital age, extends beyond the borders of the United States. One such case is that of John Ashe, former president of the United Nations General Assembly, who died in June 2016. Ashe's death, officially caused by a barbell falling on his neck, came days before he was due to testify in a corruption case that had connections to the Clintons. The timing and unusual nature of his death fueled the Clinton body count theory, with some speculating that he was silenced to prevent potentially damaging information from surfacing. This international incident was followed by a series of deaths closer to home. Seth Rich, a young Democratic National Committee staffer, was murdered in Washington, D.C. in July 2016. The unsolved murder of Rich, who allegedly leaked thousands of emails to WikiLeaks, led to widespread speculation that his death was linked to the Clintons. Despite law enforcement's conclusion that Rich's death was a result of a botched robbery, the timing of his death, amid a volatile election season, added his name to the Clinton body count. The following month, renowned investigative journalist and author Victor Thorne, who had written extensively about the Clintons, was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Thorne's death on his birthday, coupled with his research into the Clintons, led to his name being added to the list. In the same year, Sean Lucas, a process server who had served the DNC a lawsuit alleging fraud during the 2016 Democratic primary elections, was found dead. The cause of his death was ruled as a combination of various drugs, but the unexpected nature of his death and his recent involvement with the DNC lawsuit only added fuel to the Clinton body count theory. These instances, combined with the previously mentioned cases, form the core evidence cited by proponents of the Clinton body count theory. The pattern of unexpected deaths, coupled with the alleged connections of the victims to the Clintons, has led to a compelling narrative that continues to captivate a segment of the public. Each new addition to the list has only served to deepen the mystery and further the belief in a larger, more sinister narrative at play. The intricate web of connections, the high stakes, and the secrecy surrounding these deaths continue to make the Clinton body count a topic of intrigue and speculation. On a cursory examination, the evidence that comprises the Clinton body count theory appears compelling. The sudden and unexpected deaths, the alleged connections to the Clintons, and the timing of these incidents all seem to paint a picture of a dark narrative unfolding behind the scenes. However, it is essential to take a closer look at each case to fully understand and evaluate the strength of this evidence. Consider the incident involving Seth Rich. While it's true that his murder remains unsolved and that he was allegedly involved in leaking emails to WikiLeaks, there's no concrete evidence linking his death to the Clintons. The law enforcement investigation concluded that his death was likely the result of a botched robbery, a sadly common occurrence in many major cities. The connection to the Clintons, in this case, relies heavily on speculation and the timing of events rather than tangible, verifiable proof. Similarly, the death of Victor Thorne raises questions. As an investigative journalist and author, Thorne had indeed written extensively about the Clintons. However, his death, ruled a suicide, occurred on his birthday, a time when suicides tragically spike. While his research into the Clintons adds an element of intrigue to his death, it doesn't necessarily constitute evidence of a sinister plot. Turning to the case of Sean Lucas, this is another instance where timing and circumstance seem to point towards a connection. His involvement with a lawsuit against the DNC is true, but his death was ruled as a result of a mixture of drugs. The unexpected nature of his death adds intrigue, but again, there's no solid evidence linking it to the Clintons. To be sure, the pattern of unexpected deaths and alleged connections to the Clintons creates a compelling narrative. However, the strength of the evidence supporting the Clinton body count theory is in question. Each case, when examined individually, lacks concrete proof of a connection. Connections are often drawn based on conjecture, timing, and circumstance, rather than hard, verifiable evidence. It's also important to acknowledge that prominent political figures like the Clintons are connected to numerous individuals due to the nature of their work. The probability of knowing individuals who meet untimely ends is likely higher for them simply because of the number of people they interact with. Yet, the allure of such a theory is undeniable. It offers a seemingly concrete explanation for a series of tragic events, and the secrecy and high stakes involved only add to its appeal. It feeds into the human tendency to seek patterns, to connect dots, and to make sense of the world, even when the connections might not be as clear-cut as they initially appear. The Clinton body count theory, like many conspiracy theories, thrives on the edge of possibility and the unknown, presenting a narrative that, while not definitively proven, is also not entirely dismissed. Critics of the Clinton body count theory argue that it is simply an example of apophenia, the human tendency to perceive meaningful patterns within random data. This psychological phenomenon explains why we might see faces in clouds or hear messages in white noise. In the case of the Clinton body count, critics suggest that a tragic series of unrelated deaths has been misperceived as a pattern of sinister events. In the realm of statistical analysis, it's well understood that correlation does not necessarily imply causation. While it's true that many of the people on the so-called Clinton body count list had some connection to the Clintons, critics argue that this connection does not necessarily mean there's a causal relationship between their deaths and the Clintons. They point out that over the course of their long careers in public service, the Clintons have crossed paths with thousands of individuals. Given the sheer number of these connections, it's statistically likely that a certain number of these individuals would meet untimely ends, without any foul play involved. Critics also highlight the lack of hard evidence supporting the theory. In most cases, the cause of death has been determined by medical professionals and law enforcement officials, often following in-depth investigations. While it's true that mistakes can be made and cover-ups can occur, critics argue that it's highly improbable that so many deaths could be falsely attributed to natural causes, accidents, or suicides. The Clinton body count theory is also often associated with political bias. Critics contend that the theory is primarily propagated by those with a vested interest in discrediting the Clintons, such as political opponents or conspiracy theorists. They argue that this bias can lead to selective interpretation of facts and the dismissal of any evidence that contradicts the theory. There's also skepticism regarding the theory's reliance on secrecy and the unknown. While it's true that high-level politics can involve clandestine operations and secrets, critics argue that the theory takes this to an extreme, suggesting a level of secrecy and cover-up that would be nearly impossible to maintain, especially in an age of relentless media scrutiny and the widespread dissemination of information. Despite these objections, the Clinton body count theory persists, fueled by the enduring human fascination with conspiracy theories and the desire to uncover hidden truths. As with many such theories, it continues to exist in a realm of uncertainty, neither definitively proven nor conclusively debunked, a testament to the power of mystery and the allure of the forbidden. The societal and cultural impact of the Clinton body count theory cannot be overstated. It's a testament to the pervasive power of narratives, regardless of their veracity, and the role they play in shaping public opinion. In this case, the narrative is a complex one, entwined with politics, power, and a deep-seated human fascination with the unknown and the forbidden. The Clinton body count theory has been widely disseminated across various forms of media. It has found its way into popular culture, surfacing in numerous online forums, social media platforms, and even mainstream television shows. This widespread dissemination has allowed the theory to reach an expansive audience, influencing perceptions of the Clintons and their legacy on a global scale. The theory also contributes to a broader societal trend: the erosion of trust in institutions. It feeds into the narrative of a deep state or shadowy forces that control the world from behind the scenes. This suspicion, whether warranted or not, fosters a climate of cynicism and mistrust in political establishment and institutions that are supposed to protect and serve the public. In this sense, it is not simply a theory about the Clintons, but a lens through which many view the world. Moreover, the Clinton body count theory underscores the power of fear as a political tool. It taps into the primal human fear of death, associating it with a specific political figure or party. This association can be a potent weapon in the arsenal of political warfare, capable of swaying opinions and influencing voting decisions. Additionally, the theory reflects and amplifies the divisive nature of modern politics. It highlights the extent to which people are willing to believe the worst about those with opposing political views, further widening the chasm between different ideological camps. The spread of such theories, therefore, contributes to the polarization of political discourse, making it even more difficult to find common ground. Finally, the Clinton body count theory speaks to a deeper human need: the desire for simple explanations to complex phenomena. The world of politics is intricate and often opaque, with a myriad of factors influencing every decision. Conspiracy theories like the Clinton body count offer a way to make sense of this complexity, providing a single narrative thread that ties together disparate events. In conclusion, the Clinton body count theory offers a lens into the human psyche and its relationship with power, fear, and the unknown. Its cultural and societal implications extend far beyond the Clintons themselves, reflecting broader trends in politics and human nature. The impact of the Clinton body count conspiracy has been particularly pronounced in the media landscape. The theory has been amplified by various platforms, ranging from fringe websites and social media channels to mainstream outlets. This proliferation of the narrative has had significant consequences for political discourse, not only in the United States but around the world. As with any story that grabs the public's attention, the media has played a crucial role in the spread of the Clinton body count theory. In the digital era, it's easier than ever for information, valid or not, to disseminate rapidly. The viral nature of this conspiracy theory has been fueled by high-profile endorsements, sensationalist headlines, and the echo chamber effect of social media. The media portrayal of the Clinton body count theory has been varied. Some outlets have presented it as a compelling mystery, while others have used it as a cudgel against the Clintons. The theory's endurance in the media spotlight testifies to its power as a narrative tool. It's a story that delivers intrigue, suspicion, and a sense of hidden truths, the very elements that captivate audiences. Journalistic standards and ethics have also come under scrutiny in light of this conspiracy theory. The line between reporting and propagating such theories is often blurred. While some media outlets have been accused of uncritically disseminating the theory, others have faced criticism for not investigating it thoroughly enough. The debate over how to handle such conspiracy theories in the media is ongoing, with no clear consensus in sight. The Clinton body count theory has also had a significant impact on the narrative surrounding the Clintons themselves. It has cast a long shadow over their political careers, contributing to a public perception of them as figures shrouded in mystery and controversy. The theory has added an element of danger and intrigue to their story, a narrative that continues to captivate many, despite the lack of conclusive evidence to support it. The media's portrayal of the Clinton body count theory also demonstrates the power of narratives in shaping public opinion. A compelling story, regardless of its veracity, can significantly influence how individuals perceive reality. It underscores the role of the media not just as a conveyor of information, but as a powerful shaper of public perception and discourse. This phenomenon isn't isolated to the Clinton body count theory. It's indicative of a broader trend in today's media landscape, where conspiracy theories are gaining traction and driving the news cycle. In an era of information overload and growing public mistrust in institutions, such theories offer enticing narratives that resonate with many people's fears and suspicions. In this context, the Clinton body count theory serves as a cautionary tale about the power of narratives and the role of the media in amplifying them. Its widespread propagation and enduring presence in public discourse highlight the profound impact such theories can have on society, politics, and the very fabric of our understanding of reality. As we delve deeper into the shadows of the Clinton body count conspiracy theory, we stumble upon a more speculative thread that leads us into the realm of the occult and secret societies. Some proponents of the theory have suggested that the Clintons' alleged involvement in these untimely deaths is part of a much larger, more insidious plot. This angle of the narrative alleges that the Clintons are members of a global elite that operates through clandestine societies and uses power and influence to shape world events, often to their benefit. This interpretation, certainly an extreme one, draws heavily upon pre-existing conspiracy theories about global cabals and secret societies. It paints a picture of a world controlled by a shadowy elite, of which the Clintons are alleged to be key players. This supposed global network is believed to engage in nefarious activities, such as manipulation of global economies, influencing political events, and even orchestrating assassinations, all to maintain their hold on power. The theory also suggests that these shadowy figures use symbols and coded language to communicate their intentions and actions, furthering the sense of intrigue and secrecy. Some have claimed, for instance, that the Clintons use coded language in their public speeches and communications, allegedly hinting at their involvement in these dark dealings. Another fringe belief tied to this aspect of the Clinton body count conspiracy theory involves the concept of ritual sacrifice. A small subset of believers suggests that the supposed victims were not just casualties in a political game, but rather part of ritualistic practices allegedly conducted by this secret elite. It is important to remember, however, that these interpretations rely heavily on speculation and conjecture. There is no concrete evidence to support these claims, and they are often dismissed as the product of fertile imaginations and a tendency to see patterns and connections where none exist. Despite this, these theories persist, fueled by a climate of mistrust and dissatisfaction with the status quo. They serve to represent the fears and anxieties of a society increasingly disillusioned with its leaders and institutions. The Clinton body count, in all its forms and interpretations, is a reflection of these underlying sentiments, a mirror held up to the darker corners of the public psyche. As we approach the final section of our exploration into this theory, it's important to remember that while the Clinton body count remains unproven, its existence and persistence in the public consciousness reveal much about the state of our society and the power of narratives, regardless of their veracity. In the vast tapestry of the Clinton body count conspiracy theory, a thread of deep-seated societal unrest and discontent can be traced. The persistence of this theory, despite a lack of concrete evidence, demonstrates the profound impact of narrative and belief and how they can shape perceptions of reality. The theory has been able to thrive and evolve in the digital age, where misinformation can spread rapidly and unchecked. Social media platforms, online forums, and the darker corners of the internet have become fertile grounds for the propagation of such fringe beliefs. These mediums, with their inherent anonymity and lack of accountability, have arguably contributed to the resilience and persistence of the Clinton body count theory. At its heart, the Clinton body count is a story, a narrative that continues to be written and rewritten, shaped by the fears and anxieties of its believers. It speaks to a deep-seated mistrust in the systems of power, a sense of disillusionment with the political elite, and a yearning for hidden truths. Whether or not the Clintons are involved in a grand and sinister conspiracy becomes less important than what the belief in such a conspiracy signifies. In this way, the Clinton Bodycount conspiracy theory, and others like it, can be seen as a form of modern folklore, tales spun in the digital age. These narratives serve to articulate and embody the collective fears and anxieties of a society, providing a form of catharsis for those who feel marginalized or powerless. Just as folklore of old spoke of monsters lurking in the dark, modern conspiracy theories speak of shadowy figures pulling the strings behind the scenes. The Clintons, in this narrative, become the embodiment of these fears, the face of an unseen enemy. In concluding this journey into the heart of the Clinton body count theory, a crucial understanding emerges. Conspiracy theories, while often dismissed as the product of unfounded speculation and paranoia, are deeply rooted in societal anxieties and concerns. They are a reflection of the times, a barometer of societal unease, an embodiment of the fears, anxieties, and mistrust that percolate beneath the surface of the public consciousness. Without endorsing the veracity of the Clinton body count theory, it is necessary to acknowledge its cultural significance and the role it plays in our understanding of contemporary society. It forms a cautionary tale about the power of narrative, the persistence of belief, and the profound impact of societal fears and anxieties on the collective psyche. Thanks for listening. This has been the Conspiracy Archive. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you'd like to support the show, subscribe to the Forbidden Knowledge Network on Patreon. Subscribe now.